How's it going, guys? JP here. Welcome to day number 14 in my second annual 31 Days of Horror. The film that I'm going to be reviewing today is Rosemary's Baby from the year 1968 with a tagline of Pray for Rosemary's Baby. So this film is a film that I've heard a lot about. It definitely has its place in, the history of horror and film in general. And I just never got around to seeing it. Finally grabbed this for $5, and I watched it today. And I will say that I really did enjoy Rosemary's Baby, a lot actually. So Rosemary is a woman who is married to a guy named Guy. Their last name is Woodhouse, I believe, and they are newlyweds. They decided to move in a lovely apartment in New York where they plan to start a life and a family in time. The husband is a kind of a struggling actor who is talented but just hasn't got the right breaks yet, and Rosemary is a you know just a very sweet, nice person who is just, really wants to settle down and raise some kids and have the life that she sees in her head is what she really wants. They also have, so Rosemary is washing clothes in the basement, and she meets a woman who says that there's a family or an older couple on Rosemary's floor that actually took her in. She was a drug addict and she was, going straight downhill, either going to be dead or in jail within the next few months. And this old couple just straight took her in and, helped her and, totally just, saved her life basically. Later on in the film, we find that the woman fell out of a window or was pushed out of a window or murdered. We don't really know for sure. Um, and she is dead. Rosemary runs into the couple who was taking care of her, named Mimi and Roman. Mimi is a very, Rosemary says it a few times in the film that she's a very nosy woman, and she is. And she's very, has a lot of energy and has a lot of, style to herself, has a lot of, she's very, multi-dimensional. She has a lot of, dimensions to her character. You can, she's very extravagant and stuff. Um, and Roman also does too. They are a very interesting people, and they invite Rosemary and her husband over to dinner. At first, the husband doesn't really want to. He doesn't want to hang out with an older couple because, then I believe they're in their 70s or nearly to their 70s. Um, he just doesn't want to have them over all the time. But they end up going over anyway, and they end up all hitting it off really well, especially the husband, who is very interested in the older gentleman Roman's stories. Um, Basically, they start to hang out more often. You get a vibe that something might be up with them. Later on, Rosemary and her husband decide to finally have a baby because he hasn't been giving her enough attention. He's trying to, um, focus on his acting career. He ends up getting a lucky break because the guy who beat him out of a part ended up waking up blind one day and can no longer act. So he gets the part. They end up having a baby through some, I don't know if you would call it rape, but Rosemary is completely passed out after uh, some drinks and possibly some. She possibly got roofied pretty much. Um, and he decides to go ahead and have sex with her and impregnate her anyway. At least that's what we're assuming. Um, Later on, we find that Rosemary believes that something is wrong with her baby, and she believes that people around her might have had something to do with it. That's pretty much where I'll leave it off. I don't want to go into the plot, super in depth, but there is so much to analyze here, and there really is a lot going on, and I tried to, kind of give the main points of it, but still kind of set up the film right, and but there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot more things that you could go into, that could spoil the film. It's just a really, really, really well made movie. It's throughout watching it, you have a lot of moments where you stop and think, and you're thinking the whole time while watching it, and you're feeling, the emotions of the characters, and you're feeling a lot of things, and thinking a lot. And I like that about this movie. Every character seems to be nowhere near a standard, run-of-the-mill character. They all have multiple layers to them and multiple dimensions. They are all very, very thought out characters, and it really does work. All very good acting, in my opinion. I really did like the Rosemary character. She really made you feel for what she was going through. And as she's pregnant, she has a sharp pain, and I really got the sense that like, I kind of understood the type of pain that she was going through. It was just a constant sharp pain that she was having for months, and you could really see it wearing on the character, which I really liked. Um, I will say that I love the ending to this film. I really love the ending. I really didn't know what was going to happen in this film. I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know to what extent people were involved and what people around them. And I didn't know if it was going to be like a twist ending or like something like that. But I thought it was ended really well, and it all made great sense. And I thought that the way that the film was done, you really see the connection between a mother and her baby, and I thought that it all fit very well in the ending. Um, so yeah, this film is great. This is a great, great movie. It's not a really straight up horror film though. It relies heavily on suspense and wonder and slowness and just creepy dream sequences that were really very interesting to see, and very entertaining for. I believe this film is like nearly 2.5 hours, and it didn't drag on at all. I really enjoyed this one. So this is probably the highlight of the. Curse of Chucky was pretty good, but this really impressed me. So I don't. So far, this is going to be my highest rating of these 15 days or 14 days, and I'll give this film a 9 out of 10. It's really solid. I highly recommend Rosemary's Baby. It's great. So much to talk about. There really is so much to analyze, and thinking back on certain scenes, they leave some things not fully explained. Not major things, but there are things that they don't go into and point out right to you, like this is what happened. This is for one example, early on, the character that Rosemary meets in the um, cellar, the basement, in the laundromat area, she we don't really know 100%, why she died. I mean, it's pointed out later, but it's not specifically said. You can put two and two together, and I like films that do that. They don't they It makes you think a little bit, and it makes you be part of the film. So yeah, I can go on forever about this one. It really is a great film. So 9 out of 10, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.